Number one trick for persuasive public speaking is to know your audience. The best strategy for public speaking is to know your audience. How do you know your audience? Here is the key to knowing your audience, is to know what color energy your audience has. Color energy is a way of categorizing people's temperaments. So there are four main ones. There are the blue people who like details, and they like all the little information that most people don't care about, but they are technocrats, so they like all the details. Then there are the green people who are just people oriented. They like interpersonal opportunities. They get dynamic because of people. Then you have the yellow, who are people who are drama oriented. They like fun. They're quite creative. And then you have the red people who are your CEOs. They're very task oriented. They like to get things done. They don't like to be told no. So which one of these is predominant in your audience? So the color energies is something that you can figure out by asking a company or an organization to assess you. I have left below the name of an organization that specializes in color energies, and you can reach out to them to see how they can support you. By the way, they have not asked me to say that, but I think I should mention that this opportunity exists in case you wish to find out what color energy you are. But back to the reason why we're here, which is how do you assess your audience? So the key is to ask yourself, what is this audience that I'm talking to? Is it a blue audience, the technocrats that want detail? Or is it a green audience, the people who like people, very compassion centered? Or is it a yellow audience? They want fun, like, communications teams? Or is it a red audience, the CEOs? Once you know what is predominant in your audience, even though your audience will have a little bit of mix, and in each person there's a little bit of each of these four color energies, but each of us have two predominant ones. And I should say that the goal is everyone should work on themselves so that you can fire up any of these pillars. But most people at any given time have two dominant ones. So when you are asked to speak to a particular audience, you ask yourself, what is this audience? If it's an audience filled with statisticians and research analysts or policy analysts, these are mostly blue. So put a lot of data in your presentation and give them as much detail as you have or that you can find, and be ready to answer detailed questions. If you are doing a presentation in front of a lot of people who are green centered, let's say people in the NGO sector or in the not-for-profit sector, most of them will have a lot of green. And then you have to focus on compassion, how we are going to serve people, why we are considering them, how we are being inclusive. If you have an audience that is mostly yellow, for instance, like a social media team or a communications team, then you're going to put in a little bit of jokes like in between your slides, or present your information in a non-traditional way, right? And then if you have the reds, cut out all the fun as much as possible, go straight to the point, emphasize on what can be done, what has been done, say what they can do to move a project forward. That's how you get your audience engaged, and they will likely follow your presentation and remember it, and it will be effective. Now, what do you do when your audience is a little bit of all the above? They're a little bit of blue, green, yellow, or red. Or you don't know what your audience is. If you're asked to speak to students, because students are not necessarily in a particular field of study. Now, if they're in statistics, then they'll mostly be blue. But if they just said students and they're a mixture, then you know that you have to work on carrying all those color energies along. So for instance, if you were asked to go and speak at a university and the topic was environmental pollution, so you could go there and your presentation could look like this. The first paragraph: hello, everyone. My name is Jane Smith, and I'm really sorry that I'm a little bit late and that my hair is wet. On my way here, I had a little bit of a problem. I was driving and I struck a raccoon or a cat on the street, and then the cat died. I had to find the owner. I'm so sorry to all the cat-loving people in this room. This has never happened to me before. But I learned from the police that showed up that 90% of cases involving cats are resolved amicably between the cat owner and the person who struck the cat. But anyways, without further ado, let's get to our presentation about pollution and what each of you can do here to change your environment so that it's better, cleaner, and more sustainable for generations after us. Now, in that presentation, I started introducing myself, which attracted most people, especially the green. I tell them the true story about how I struck my cat, or struck a cat, and that probably caught the attention of both the greens, but also the yellows, because the yellows are into like drama and the fun and the creativity of my day being unpredictable. And the green are interested in how I resolve the issue. But then I went on to give them a statistic about what happens with cats that I learned from the police officer. Then the blue were really interested because that's data. And then finally, I stopped and I went straight to the point and started telling them why we're here and what they can do, which got the red engaged. By the end of my first paragraph, all 4 color energies were engaged. My whole audience is wrapped in attention. If you carry this forward in your next paragraph and in the next paragraph, at the end of your presentation, everybody's happy, everyone takes something from it. It's a memorable talk and change can happen. Never underestimate the power of persuasive speaking. Persuasive speaking can change lives and can indeed change the world one person at a time. If you like this video and you found it helpful, click the like button below and leave a comment. Bye-bye.